Hey, Shirok, today we're wearing the perfect colors, and we didn't even plan it.
I know, right?
Because today we're going to talk about the Icebox
Icebox.
murders, which is pretty creepy when you think about it. You're going to want to listen to this. Come on back.
What's wrong with you?
I was stuck in the freezer for a bit.
Well, maybe I shouldn't tell you then that our case today is about the Icebox murders. Are you okay?
I think I'm freezing up.
Ugh.
Yeah, we're always cold. Hey,
Welcome back,
welcome
guys.
back, everybody. And should you introduce ourselves?
I'm your girl, Shula.
And I'm Ed, and I'm so glad you're with us today
Yes.
to talk about this case. And if you're new here, we use our Crime Force AI investigation team. They're AI created, and they use AI tools to provide info on the cases. But before we even start...
Yes, please still do your own research. Just because it's AI, still do your own research. And always be kind to others. And this is for education, entertainment purposes only.
Right. That was perfect. All right, let's get into the Icebox murders. Excuse me. Okay, what's going on here? The clickers. Oh, it would be nice to turn it on. So, Crime Force is going to give us the background into the story, and then we'll comment as we go along. Here we go.
This case shows how a deeply troubled relationship can escalate into an unimaginable tragedy. The details of the crime remain a stark reminder of the potential for murder hidden behind closed doors. Fred Christopher Rogers was born on January 19, 1884, and Edwina Ivor Rogers was born on October 8, 1892. They were an elderly couple living in the Montrose neighborhood of Houston, Texas. The couple had a son named Charles Frederick Rogers. Fred Rogers, the information provided does not specify Fred Rogers' exact profession. However, it is noted that he was born in 1884, which places him in a generation that often worked in various trades or businesses typical of the early to mid-20th century.
Makes sense.
Given the era, he may have been involved in manual labor or a trade common during that time, but specific details are not provided.
Yeah, it was
Edwina
an AI
Rogers,
developer.
similarly, there is no explicit mention of Edwina's profession in the information available.
Yeah, they usually don't
Their
want...
only child, Charles Frederick Rogers, was born on December 30th, 1921. He began his higher education at Texas A&M University in 1942 but later transferred to the University of Houston, where he earned a Bachelor of Science degree in nuclear physics. His academic pursuits were interrupted by World War II, during which he served as a pilot in the United States Navy and worked in the Office of Naval Intelligence.
Smart guy.
Thanks, Agent Owens. After the war, Rogers took up a position as a seismologist with Shell Oil, where he worked for 9 years. He was known for his intelligence and expertise in locating gas, oil, and gold deposits. However, in 1957, he abruptly left his job without providing any explanation. In addition to his professional skills, Rogers was multilingual, reportedly speaking 7 languages and having an interest in ham
He
radios.
was a smart guy.
By the mid-1960s, Charles Rogers was living with his elderly parents, Fred Christopher Rogers and Edwina Ivor Rogers, in Houston's Montrose neighborhood. By the mid-1960s, Fred and Edwina were described as reclusive and had a strained relationship with their son. Charles communicated with his parents primarily through notes slipped under their door.
That's weird.
Neighbors were largely unaware of Charles's presence in the home due to his odd hours. He would leave before dawn and return after dark.
What was he doing?
So that was yeah, it's a good leeway into this. So that was a good kind of background to kind of set the stage as to the different people.
Right, and the relationship
behind it.
that they had.
Yep. Now I want to hear about these murders. Now I'm going to try to sneeze. Oh, see? It's a good topic. Being cold, you get a cold, freeze. Okay, here we go.
I've been working for Studio 70 for almost a year, and these true crime stories are always keeping me on edge. On June 23, 1965, Houston police officers conducted a welfare check after Edwina's nephew reported unanswered phone calls. He had been unable to reach his aunt by phone for several days, which raised concerns for her safety. Upon arrival at the residence in Houston's Montrose neighborhood, 2 officers knocked on the door but received no response. Consequently, they forced their way into the home. Upon entering, the officers did not initially notice anything unusual. However, they observed food left on the dining room table. One officer then opened the refrigerator and was confronted with a shocking scene, what appeared to be numerous cuts of washed, unwrapped meat neatly stacked on the shelves. As he closed the refrigerator door, he noticed 2 human heads visible through the clear glass of the vegetable bin.
I'm surprised even.
It became evident that these were not mere cuts of meat but rather dismembered body parts belonging to Fred and Edwina Rogers.
Crazy.
The gruesome discovery prompted an immediate investigation. The police quickly determined that both individuals had been brutally murdered. An autopsy later revealed that Fred had been bludgeoned to death with a hammer and had suffered severe mutilations, while Edwina had been shot execution-style in the head.
Shot. Wow.
The bodies had been dismembered in a manner suggesting some knowledge of anatomy, indicating a calculated approach to concealment. In addition to finding the bodies in such a horrific state, investigators also discovered evidence that pointed towards Charles Rogers, their reclusive son who had vanished prior to their arrival. A blood-stained keyhole saw was found in his bedroom along with traces of blood leading back to it. This evidence solidified Charles as a primary suspect in what would become one of Houston's most infamous unsolved murder cases.
This is insane, Agent Wells. While there are claims linking Charles Rogers to the CIA, the evidence is largely circumstantial and controversial. Here are the main points suggesting a potential connection. Rogers' background in nuclear physics, service with naval intelligence during World War II, and work as a seismologist for Shell Oil made him a potentially appealing candidate for CIA recruitment. He allegedly became friends with David Ferrie, a figure associated with CIA activities and JFK assassination theories, while both were members of the Civil Air Patrol.
I don't know.
John or Craig, a private detective,
So,
claimed that
auxiliary,
Rogers
like
continued to
Coast Guard
work for the CIA in South America and was part of the Iran-Contra program after his disappearance. The book The Man on the Grassy Knoll by John or Craig and Philip A. Rogers alleges that Charles Rogers was a CIA agent who impersonated Lee Harvey Oswald in Mexico City. Rogers reportedly had an antenna in his attic that was overlooked by police, which some speculate was used for communicating with other agents. Edwina was beaten and shot execution-style in the head. The bodies were dismembered in the upstairs bathroom by someone with some knowledge of anatomy. The couple's organs were found in a nearby sewer, having been cut up and flushed down the toilet.
Gross. What kind of mental state you're in with that?
This is your parents. You know?
He must have just like lost it, or who knows what they saw in World War II. I don't know. That's I'll use one of your words. I'm flabbergasted.
Yeah, this is a crazy story, and especially the connection, like the relationship.
All right.
Parents and son.
I want to see what the aftermath is. This is.
Charles Rogers disappeared immediately after the murders and was never found. He was declared legally dead in 1975.
What?
The case remains unsolved,
That's a twist.
but it continues to fascinate
That's a
true
real
crime
twist.
enthusiasts and has spawned various conspiracy theories, including alleged connections to the JFK assassination.
That makes it more
Various
intriguing.
theories emerged regarding what might have happened to Charles Rogers after his disappearance. Some speculated that he may have fled to avoid prosecution or scrutiny related to his parents' murders. Others suggested that he could have met with foul play or died under unknown circumstances. However, no concrete evidence has ever surfaced to confirm any of these theories. The combination of gruesome details surrounding the murders, the unresolved nature of the case, Charles Rogers' complex background as a suspect, societal speculation regarding conspiracy theories, and its historical context contribute to why this case remains fascinating even decades later.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Crime Force. We appreciate you guys as usual. and we're going to discuss this now in more detail. So you want to go first or you want me to go first?
And let you go first this time.
All right. So just a couple things. First off, this was a great topic to cover right before Halloween time. So I guess it's a little creepy.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a good rev up, getting ready for that. It's still September. And then the JFK, well, first of all, missing completely. Well, there's conspiracy theories. Did the CIA take him back? You know what I'm saying? There's all this, that's pretty wild. And that connection to JFK thing, I don't know. I mean, it is wild because there could be a legitimate connection, but what does that all mean? Like, did he just flip out? I don't know. It's very bizarre. I almost wanted to know more, but I guess there isn't any more to really,
Yeah, there was not a lot of evidence due to, of course, the time. And so that was definitely interesting. Like, when I seen this case, I was like, whoa. I mean, imagine opening up a refrigerator and seeing two heads.
It almost reminds me of, who's the other guy that we cover? Oh my goodness. The other guy who's a cannibal, remember? I know what he looks like. I just can't think. That drives you nuts. You ever the person, the thing. What's his name? We covered him at least once. He has like brownish blonde hair, glasses.
What was his?
He would eat people. He was a younger guy. So they had a whole thing on Netflix. There's a whole show on him. No, brother. Now it's going to drive me nuts. These people are going to be bored if I sit here thinking about it. If I think about it, by the time we end,
we'll talking about too. Yes,
But anyhow, it's like that because they found stuff in the refrigerator too, as well.
Yeah, you're right. Exactly. That was just
what I'm talking about. Yeah. Everybody's yelling out the name right now.
I know.
They're listening to it.
Exactly.
But, yeah. So this one, and then the parents, I don't know. There's a difference between like what kind of monster that. Okay, first of all, just killing your parents is in general, but if you get angry with them and you shoot them or whatever, but to do all that parts to it, there's some kind of, and again, PTSD back then, that's
no therapy.
Treating that correctly really isn't more, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, but more of a 21st century thing, I think. I mean, they knew about it earlier than that, but I think the right treatments are getting better more in this century than in the 20th century. So who knows?
Yeah, imagine when he's been through, like going to the war and all of that. So that could be devastating for anyone, right? And then having that trauma and not having any therapy,
exactly,
no medication, and just that is just crazy.
I want to make sure you're probably get closer to your mic.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I just want to make sure. Yeah, you're okay. I just want to make sure. Sometimes you're soft.
So that was definitely a very interesting case.
Yep. And I still can't think of the name, but that's all right. You know what I'm talking about.
I know who you're talking about too.
Not Dave. I'm thinking of David Koresh because we did him not too long. No, not David Koresh. Oh, shoot. That's all right. I don't want to Google it right now because I don't want to take up too much time. Yeah. But hey, guys, that was a quick one today. But thank you so much. We're getting ready for the Halloween time. So being that September, I know kids are back in schools. The summer, quote unquote, is over. I won't tell you, but we'll be going to we're going to have a little trip and we're going to Jamaica on the soon. So anyhow, we hope you guys enjoyed the show and come on back for next week. And as we get ready for Halloween, you're not going to want to miss the Halloween month as well. And one thing I'll tell you before we go is make sure to subscribe and like. I know every channel asks that, but it really means a lot. It takes 2 seconds and we'd really appreciate it. But more importantly, just come back and watch, learn about these kind of interesting cases.
Yeah. We actually just try to do a lot of scary cases. Like last year, we did some and it was very popular. A lot of people watched those, which was good.
Yeah, and upcoming, I think we have like zombie crimes, vampire crimes. I think some more I think there might be a zombie one. There's some interesting ones coming up, so check them out. And until next time,
Studio 70.
We'll see you Studio 70.